Welcome back to the Give and Go. I am your co-host Reynoso here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, guys?
Give us a thumbs up on this stream right now. A thumbs up would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday night. If you're drinking, give me a W in the chat. If you're not drinking and enjoying your own presence, give me a W in the chat. I need W's in the chat. It's a beautiful Saturday night, and we got some jam-packed football today, bro. Jam-packed football.
Yeah. Kinda.
A lot of games. 4 games to watch between the Euros and Copa America. Folks, we have Brazil losing to Uruguay in penalties 4-2, and then Colombia trashing Panama 5-0.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to Panama.
R.I.P. to Panama. We'll talk about them at the very end. And folks, make sure to stick around because we're going to be doing a Copa America semifinal predictions with you guys. We're going to clip it and upload it on our channel. So I want you guys to get involved with those predictions. So stay with us until the very end. Thumbs up in the chat. Let's talk football.
Let's talk football, man.
We have Brazil losing to Uruguay after a very brutal match between both teams where there was fouls back and forth for a full 90 minutes, and honestly had me feeling grateful that this tournament doesn't have extra time because I was ready to see a winner. I was ready to see some action, some drama, and we finally got that in the penalty shootout where Uruguay was able to be the better scorers, getting 4 goals in the penalty shootout and defeating Brazil. Dino was right.
Dino was right.
Dino was right.
Let me throw a stat out for you and everyone listening. 41 fouls in this match.
It was 41?
And just for context, there was only 21 in the extra time game earlier today in the Euros.
Wow.
Pretty much double the amount, and there was 30 minutes less played.
And wasn't the Peru-Chile
one was 37. So this was worse than Peru-Chile, and that game was a straight-out brawl.
Yeah.
So, and that's ultimately what this game was. I mean, we'll get to the conclusions later, but this game was just foul after foul after foul. Uruguay's entire 11 should have been yellow carded, but this was the same narrative that happened against the United States. And that's the thing, though. When you play Uruguay, this is what you sign up for. You sign up for a very physical duel. And if the referee's not going to call anything, if you're Uruguayan, well, you're going to keep hitting. And I actually don't blame the tactics here. This is Bielsa ball at its finest. Get on your man, do not let him breathe, and get the ball back as quickly as possible. That's what happened in this game. And for 70 minutes before the red card, honestly, this game was completely dictated by Uruguay. All Brazil was doing was reacting to everything.
Yeah, no, reacting.
That's it.
Yeah.
The only chances Brazil was able to craft in this game was off of pure mistakes from Uruguay. That's it. And I think that only happened twice. Other than that, Uruguay did not give Brazil an inch.
Well, let's just cut right straight into it. Are they going to be able to implement the same style against Colombia?
I'm going to say yes.
You think so?
Yes.
You think so? I wonder because Colombia, out of the USA, out of Panama, out of Brazil, the teams that Uruguay has faced so far, they definitely pose the most offensive threat.
Yeah.
So I wonder how the battle of styles will be in that matchup because you're right, dude. Every Uruguay game has been like this. And if they're not trashing you and beating you up by halftime, then they're going to find a way to make it really chippy and just string the game out. It was so physical, bro. It was so physical. And ultimately, I agree. They were just playing this into Uruguay's hands the entire time because Brazil did not get comfortable. They let their emotions get to them. And we saw just so many rash decisions being made. But it's still crazy because ultimately it was Uruguay who ended up getting the red card in this match with Nandes. Nandes with the really dirty tackle.
Dirty. Straight on the ankle.
Yeah,
no questions about it. It was definitely a red. He, for some reason, didn't think it was, but yeah, it was a clear red. But that's the thing, and I like that you asked that question because I think that game against Colombia is going to be really, really fun, but this is going to be more of a test for Colombia than it is going to be for Uruguay.
I agree. Because the indication we have Colombia, and we'll get to it, is really, really positive. It's really, really positive.
Really positive.
And they haven't had really a true challenge yet in this tournament that has forced them to change their style of play. Is Uruguay the team that finally does that? Let me know in the chat, guys. We're going to be talking about it soon. But right now, let's talk about Brazil. Brazil losing out in this penalty shootout with Militao being the first player to shoot in this penalty shootout. What did you guys think about that? Militao, the first man up for Brazil, and he misses. And so from the get-go, you're already up against the run. And it just ended up, getting into the heads of the Brazilians because after that, it was another miss from
Douglas Luiz with the
Luiz.
weirdest run-up, man. I mean, he had a stare down with Rochet. Didn't work. Hits the post. And ultimately, that's the miss that sends Brazil out of this tournament. But, I mean, this is just kind of a really poor tournament for Brazil, honestly. Like, sure, they were able to, handle Paraguay. They drew Costa Rica. They couldn't beat Colombia. But I think overall, Brazil showed just the type of team that they are right now. They are struggling for identity. Offensively, there's no chemistry up top. Defensively, they're good. You have Marquinhos, you have Militao, you have Alisson, who are fantastic. But midfield, offensively, there's nothing there right now for Brazil.
Does Vinny make a difference, though, if he's here?
Oh, he definitely.
Yeah.
No, definitely makes a difference because he's one of the best dribble penetrators in the world. So we said it before the match. Not having Vinicius, for me, made this game immediately Uruguay's. I think if Vinicius is on the pitch, there's a chance Brazil score in regulation.
Yeah, and then you had Endrick getting the start in this game and ultimately not having the impactful game that I think many people were hoping to see from him. But that goes for most Brazilian players. I just don't think they were able to play their style of football, whatever that style is. And I'm disappointed. I guess I'm disappointed at the end of the day because there was just a shimmer of hope I have for this Brazilian team because, yes, in World Cup qualifying, they're not playing great. And even in international friendlies, they weren't playing that great either. But I just figured that the stage, that the knockout setting might play into Brazil maybe surprising people and going back to their old ways of dominating and playing well against teams in the Americas.
Yeah.
I thought that would happen, bro. But we got our answer, bro. This Brazilian team is the worst team we've ever seen. Yeah. Like, truly, in our lifetime. I'm 28 years old, so I don't know about how they were before that. But in my lifetime, almost 30 years of life, this is easily the worst Brazil team I've ever seen because they're actually struggling in World Cup qualifying and now at the Copa America, not even making it to the semifinals. We got a super chat. Canada has made it farther, bro.
Canada has
made it farther than Brazil in this tournament, bro. Shout out to them. But dude, it really represents just how far the drop-off has been for Brazil. And yeah, sure, if Vinny's in this game, I'm sure he makes a difference. But at the end of the day, the fact that you're relying on one guy to be that sole man for you, whereas Brazil has always been known for having so much talent all spread out, I think it's just a crazy indication of how far Brazil has fallen off.
And it's kind of scary if you are a Brazil fan because you're mid-table right now in World Cup qualification. I see this form continuing. I don't see this getting fixed anytime soon. So unless you're playing against Peru and Bolivia next, like, you might not be able to get a win, in the next couple of World Cup qualification games. So, honestly, Brazil's going to be must-watch television because of that.
It's a fun question. I'm always thinking about reels. I'm always thinking about TikToks in my head, and they call it clip farming. But I promise you, this isn't me doing that right now. Does Brazil make it to the World Cup?
They have to, bro. It's expanded, bro.
That should be crazy.
What is it? It's like 9 out of 10 South American teams get in now. It's something
that should
stupid,
be crazy,
right?
Bro.
So if you're South American, you're basically in unless your name's Bolivia.
That's true, bro. In the old format,
the old format would be interesting.
I wonder what would have happened. I bet it gets tight. I bet it gets exciting. But I have them getting through. But still, they disappoint in this tournament. Uruguay ends up being the better team, getting the result here and moving forward to face off against Colombia. Is there really anything else to remark in this match before I go over to Colombia versus Panama? Because like we mentioned, bro, it's pretty straightforward. 90 minutes of just physical play, fouls, and then a penalty shootout.
No, I mean, I guess I do want to double praise Uruguay though, because for as physical as they are and it, completely douses their opponent's offense, it works. We targeted Uruguay as probably the best team going into the tournament playing football, right? Colombia had the best run, but Uruguay was probably playing the best football out of all the teams in the Copa America before the tournament. And by qualifying to the semifinals, I think they've proven that. And we'll get to that, I think, at the end of this. But that Colombia game, I don't think is going to be easy for Colombia at all.
No, not whatsoever. I think the last thing I want to touch on for Brazil is Dorito Jr., Dorival Jr.
Yeah.
Does he stay on, bro? What's next for the head coaching position? Because, this is terrible form that we're seeing from Brazil. Someone's going to have to be up to blame. I wonder if Brazil will look at the coach and once again switch him out after, just now bringing him in within like the last year, dude.
Yeah.
Like, are they really going to go through another coaching search process once again, or are they going to stay stubborn with Dorival Jr. and just trust him to see the process out? This is an interesting one.
Yeah, this is really interesting, but I say they got to get rid of him just because this felt like a test for Dorival. Right, the test for the prior coach, Fernando Diniz, they gave him World Cup qualifiers. He failed. They finished mid-table after 6 games. Now they give Dorival a chance. The test was Copa America. He couldn't get out of the quarterfinals. It was a bad group stage. He failed. So I think what Brazil's history shows is it's next man up. I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be another Brazilian coach most likely, but it's just going to be basically a coin toss as to whether he's successful or not.
Low-key, it should be Dino.
I mean, hey, you got a prediction, right?
Low key, bro, it should be Dino, man. That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
Be
you know,
cool.
after everything you said about the team, it's like, you know what? Cool. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
I'll fix it. Guys, let's move on over to Colombia versus Panama. Let me know what you thought about this game, because this game was just as straightforward as the Brazil-Uruguay match, because within 20, 30 minutes, this game was done, bro. This game was done.
Yeah.
It was done.
Yep.
Colombia ran the Panamanians. Colombia trashed the Panamanians. The Colombians destroyed the Panamanians, winning 5-0 with goals from Córdoba, James Rodriguez, Luis Diaz, Richard Rios, and Miguel Borja. James with 2 goals and 1 assist in the first half. The first player ever in Copa America history to have 3 goal contributions within 1 half of football at this tournament, and he now has 5 assists and 1 goal in this tournament.
God.
James motherfucking Rodriguez is going off. Colombia is going off. 27 games unbeaten, matching their record for their that they did like in the 90s, I believe. Colombia, their undefeated record, matching it now, being 1 game away. If they defeat Uruguay, they break their own personal record of undefeated games. Colombia cooked today, man.
Cooked, man. And I don't even know if there's anything more to say that we haven't said about Colombia, because this game was so straightforward. There's really nothing to analyze other than Colombia have continued their insane run of form. They're just relentless offensively. They look possessed. Luis Diaz is one of the better wingers at this tournament. And as you already put, let's put it even into more specific words. Sure. James Rodriguez is the MVP of the tournament so far. And he was 10 years ago at the World Cup, and here he is doing it once again. It's kind of crazy, his efficiency on the output end of things. It's ridiculous. The fact that he's scoring and assisting in every single game multiple times, it's ridiculous, man. But this Colombia team is so much more than just James. All you have to do is just watch every single game that they've played over the last 20 games, and you'll see why. This Colombia team is incredible. But for Panama, all I want to say is one thing here is I hope, or I wish, that they could somehow put their defense through like a defense boot camp. That's it, man. Because offensively, they're actually very creative. They're very adventurous. Yes. And they actually stretched Colombia several times after going down 2-0. And they got very close with a header that ended up, going across the goal. Vargas was able to, get it out. But Panama's offense there's no problem with it whatsoever, but their backline is just so mistake prone that you get a result like this, 5-0. You get a result like Uruguay, where just all of a sudden they can't contain their opponent and they let 2, 3, 4 goals in. No. It's very frustrating, because if they just fix that defensive line, they're the second best team in CONCACAF. They're better than Mexico. They're better than Canada. And they'd be right underneath the United States. It is kind of crazy how close they are. But the thing is, defense wins titles, right? Defense wins big matches. If you don't have a good defense, it doesn't matter how good your offense is. So for Panama, this is a really interesting time, because they have proven, they made history by going to the quarterfinals here in this knockout stage, or the Copa America. But going forward, they at least know where their weak points are, and I'm wondering if they're going to fix it. I don't know. Either way, this is good rehearsal for them for the World Cup qualifiers to come.
It's a tough thing to fix, bro. It's a tough thing to fix. They do have a leaky defense, because South America exposed that, dude, with Uruguay getting 3 on them in that first game, Colombia not getting 5, and even the fact they conceded to the U.S. when they were up a man, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Panama, that's definitely their weakest point. I don't know if it gets better, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if it gets better. Thing is, I do think they're good enough to be able to qualify into the 2026 FIFA World Cup without USA, Canada, or Mexico being involved. They're good enough for that. True. I think they're good enough for that, so that's the exciting part. But I wonder how they're going to acknowledge that for the next 2 years, because it's definitely their biggest thing to work on right now. For Colombia, I just posed the question up top because it got me thinking, man. 27 games unbeaten. How does this Colombian team compare to the 2014 Colombia that the world fell in love with? Because that Colombia went off at the World Cup, where there's much more competition, more confederations going at it. Whereas here, you just have the Copa America and World Cup qualification to go off of. But this run that they're on, dude, the way that they're playing, and like you mentioned, not just James Rodriguez going off, but the rest of the team that he has around him, I might think they might be better, bro.
I'm with you. I've never thought about the comparison. This is a really fun one. I'm curious to see what the people say, but I'm going 2024.
Yeah.
The team all around is just so balanced. There's attack from all sides, but I think what more so gets me about liking this Colombia side than 10 years ago is the defensive work. Box to box, Richard Rios, I've already gone off on him. He's incredible, but right back Munoz, dude, he's a brick wall. And he can get forward and supply really good crosses into the box. I don't think Colombia's ever had this type of blend of players where they're very physical, very fast, and technical.
That's true.
Usually it's like one or two of the attributes, but pretty much all of the 11 has all of the 3 key attributes you would want your players to have.
I think what 2014 was better at was dancing. I think vibes, dude. The vibes,
the flair. They had more flair for sure.
Yes, absolutely. But looking at the technicality, the ability on the ball, and the fact that James Rodriguez specifically is still playing so well with Luis Diaz as an addition up top as a winger, I think this version is better, man.
Yeah.
I think if they can solidify it, because I was thinking about this too, like we were talking about that being a really good generation of Colombians, but they weren't able to get a victory, a medal, a trophy to really represent that. Imagine this generation does it, bro. 10 years after, with James Rodriguez still playing the same role.
That's crazy.
This story is crazy. I get why Colombians are going crazy right now, because every reel we post about Colombia, every piece of content we post about Colombia, and just online, bro, on Twitter, on Instagram, Colombians are having a good summer.
It's special.
They're having a good summer. And I truly get why, dude, because this run that they're on is something special. The question is it going to be good enough to defeat Uruguay? We'll talk about that in a minute. I want to set that up, but let me look at some super chats here from the Give and Go folks. We have Nicolas Walteros saying, I'm Colombian. My wife's in Panama. I'm on the couch tonight, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I bet people in Panama are drinking the fuck up to forget this game, dude, completely. So celebrate your victory, my friends. Celebrate it. Vanguard Gogeta says, amazing channel to watch. Also, when's the hair transplant? It needs to be this month. If not, go bald to have a reason to go get a hair transplant.
That'd be the only way.
God damn.
You're going to have to go bald, bro.
I'd have to go bald, dude. I already mentioned, within the next 5 years, I'm going to go get it done. Because right now, my hair's beautiful, folks. I love my hair. There's nothing to do here. And a hair transplant means that I get more hair. It doesn't mean that I go bald. So I'm going to wait until I start receding much more. And then I'm hitting Turkey up, because I definitely have some connections there now. And you guys must be subscribed to the channel to keep up with the journey, because one day it will be completed. David Cerda says, just like Dino said, Brazil are overrated. Dude, Dino legit spoke facts. He spoke facts, and I can't believe it came to fruition. Danny Duron says, fuck Araujo for life. Beefing with a kid, crazy karma, got him. I mean, bro, it's true, bro. He bumped the shit out of him.
He got him. Yeah, he got him. And then, moments later, he's just down with a massive cramp. Missing Araujo, though, is going to be pretty big for Uruguay. I'm sure he's not going to be healthy.
You think he's out? Yeah,
I think he's out.
Bro, that's a big miss.
It's a big miss.
It's one of the best center backs in the world, if we're being honest. He has been so good for Uruguay, and he looked pretty hurt. He looked pretty hurt. Yeah. I'm not sure about this whole karma thing since it's an injury. All right, I'm going to stay off that.
I'm going to stay off that.
I'm going to stay off that train, but for sure, he was getting physical with Endrick. OG Queen says, never thought Canada would go further than Brazil. I mentioned this earlier. It's insane. It is insane. What a time to live in right now. Canada, now the sole representative of CONCACAF in this tournament. Yeah. And shout out to them, bro.
And I want to just give a quick shout out to my favorite Canadian player of all time, Jacob Schaffelberg, scored yesterday. And hopefully we'll get on the scoreboard the next game against Argentina.
Get him on the pod?
I'd love to.
What would you ask him?
Oh, so many things. We'll do a piece on him later.
Michael Vox says, Seguimos bailando. Viva Colombia. Give James player of the tournament already. We now await Uruguay y Soltero. We are ready for the R9 cut. People want that haircut, bro.
That R9 cut. fucking
With
nuts,
that haircut,
man.
we got a lot of work to do.
That'd be
We got a lot of work to
crazy,
do.
bro.
Guys, let's do semifinal predictions. Because we have Colombia set to face off against Uruguay and Argentina set to face off against Canada. Let's start with Argentina. Argentina facing off against the Canadian side that we just mentioned is the only CONCACAF representative after they defeated Venezuela in penalties, and Argentina, who had to go to penalties as well to get through to this stage. Who do you guys have winning? Argentina or Canada in the semifinal match? Is Canada good enough? Are they in good enough form? Are they confident enough? And is Jesse Marsch genius enough of a coach to get a victory over Argentina, bro?
Look, I'm going to be rooting for Canada. Do not get me wrong. And the thing is, I think they will play better than they did in the opener against Argentina that started this whole tournament. Their offense is so creative. Their pace is electric. But you have to consider the weak points of Canada. They still cannot finish. And I don't think that's going to get fixed against Argentina's elite defense. And Canada's very mistake prone at the back. Very mistake prone. They're kind of like Panama, just not as bad. There are moments when the center backs just have lapses in concentration and either lose a runner or they commit too many guys to one side. And then that's when really good teams expose Canada's defense. I think the same things are going to happen here against Argentina. And you look at Argentina themselves, well, they're still probably the best team in the international scene. And even though they haven't had a brilliant tournament, they've still pretty much dominated every single game. So you consider all of those factors, Argentina should be able to beat Canada.
That's where I'm at, too.
Yeah.
I think they should. I think if Canada pulls off this victory, it's going to be one of the greatest CONCACAF victories of all time. I think that's what's at stake right now for Canada. They have the chance of pulling off something truly incredible. They're one game away from a final, bro. One game away.
That is crazy.
And they showed that they could put up a good match against Argentina, especially with that first game that we saw for the entire Copa America where they faced off against them already.
Yeah.
That first half was really impressive from Canada. They kept it 0-0, and they had chances, bro. But you're right. I don't know if I can trust that finishing. I know that the Argentine defense is incredibly, incredibly good. I think there's a little bit of a chance, though. I really do, because it's 90 minutes. There's no extra time. Yeah. I think there's a chance for Canada to do something special. My pick is still going to go Argentina. But, man, like I mentioned, if Canada does it, like I almost am with you. I want to see it happen because the story, the scenes would be ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous if Canada actually makes it to the final. Yeah. But we're talking about Messi here.
We're talking about
Messi, and I wonder if the Americas would allow Canada getting into a final over Argentina.
That would be,
after the corruption we've seen with refereeing. I wonder if they'll let Canada even get there, bro.
And it's cool, too, because it's the most southern country in the Americas against the most northern country in the Americas. That's crazy that's the semifinal.
That's true,
what is even crazy about Canada's run, though, and I forgot to give them props when they beat Venezuela, is every single game for Canada is a clear road game. Every single one. Like, it is like the Canadians, unfortunately, I guess, I don't know, maybe they just can't get in the States or something, but there's just no fan base for Canada. There's zero fan base. I see maybe 10 Canadians every time, and the rest is 70,000 of their opponent. So it is crazy what Canada have to go through experience-wise in every single match at this Copa.
Yeah, and they're going to have to do it at the MetLife Stadium where we saw Argentines just completely show out in numbers.
Oh my God!
So it's looking tough. It's looking tough. But let's believe, bro. Believe in your boy Schaffelberg.
I'm going to, bro.
You have to.
I'm going to be screaming it every time he touches the ball.
Let's see what happens, man. Let's have it 0-0 at halftime, and then from there, let's see what happens. Chat has Argentina at 70%, Canada at 30%. I agree with you guys. I'm going to leave it right there. Let's move on to the next game, which is going to be a banger. It is going to be a banger. On Wednesday, we have Brazil. My fault. Hey.
Got
a little excited there. Uruguay going up against Colombia. This is a banger. This is a masterpiece of a matchup with both teams finally meeting up. Both of these teams have been picked as dark horses, potential contenders of this tournament, and we're actually getting that matchup because they lived up to it. That's what I love about it. Colombia has balled out their entire way to the semifinal, and Uruguay as well was able to take down Brazil, was able to take down USA, Panama, Bolivia. Their entire path has been so good too. They both lived up to their expectations. Now it's about who wants to get to a final. This one's going to be fun, bro.
This is going to be so fun. Beetle says Colombia's cooking. and they really are. But my argument is Uruguay's cooking as well. They're just doing it in a different manner. They're doing it the Bielsa way. I really love to somehow figure out a way to get the stat of how many times does Uruguay retrieve the ball, because their ball retrieval in the midfield is so good, and that's why I'm excited about this game, because I don't think Colombia have faced a team like Uruguay yet. Truly. Uruguay have such a good mentality in the midfield, and I do think they're going to really frustrate Colombia. Now, my question is, how does Colombia respond to a defense like this? I don't know, because I haven't seen it. This is going to be a banger of a match, because I think we're going to get a lot of questions answered.
Oh, yeah.
How good are Uruguay really? And then, is Colombia really the offensive juggernaut that they look to be? So many questions are going to be answered. This is going to be an absolute classic of a game. Now, if I had to pick one, this is where it gets crazy.
It's part of your job description.
I actually think Uruguay are going to pull it off.
Epa.
Maybe on penalties. I think another very, very tight match. If it goes to pens, I'll go Uruguay.
All right, bet. No, I'm cool with that. I am, because I think it really is that even between both sides. I think these are the arguments for Colombia. They're on fire right now. Their football is a lot more fresh, much more easy on the eyes. They're kind of like Spain right now, the way Spain is dominating the Euros.
Yeah.
They're playing prettier, more pure style of football, which I think at the end should win. But Uruguay does play a very rugged game, as I see described in the chat. Very rugged, and they make it very tight and very difficult to break them. There is going to be no Araujo, which I think is a big factor in terms of their back line, because in comes Chema Jimenez, and you know Chema. You know him pretty well.
I know him very well.
At Atleti, you know he's a little capable of more mistakes than I would say Araujo.
Yeah, he's not as
good. And you need your defenders to be 100% for Uruguay. And I think against this Colombia team, it's going to be the toughest test that Uruguay faces off against. So I think I'm going to go Colombia. I think they're going to make history here, winning 28 games in a row and going to the Copa America final. And then just also looking at like the fan perspective, I think more Colombians will show out. I think the atmosphere will be in Colombia's favor,
absolutely,
which will be major for this matchup. And just in general, I think they're playing prettier football. I think they're capable of playing and matching up to the offensive level that Uruguay plays at, as well as defensively, because I don't want to underestimate Colombia's defense either. It's been incredible this tournament too. They just haven't faced as much of a test, in my opinion. So I'm going Colombia. Chas got Colombia at 68%. Uruguay at 32%. Luis Melo says, I'm putting my entire life savings on Colombia winning the entire World Copa America. Bro, chill. Relax, my friend. Relax, dude.
The narrative of Colombia winning it all, though, is what I want in life. I want that to happen. I just think Uruguay's defense has really showed out these last two matches. I'm including the USA game as well, because realistically, the USA had to match up physically, and they did. Uruguay shut them out. Brazil had to match up physically, and Uruguay shut them out. I think Uruguay have a knack of doing that. Colombia is going to be their toughest test, but I think Uruguay will be able to match up to them defensively.
Is this the most excited? I mean, I'm thinking about it. I think Spain, Germany was one of the most exciting games for me going into it.
Yeah.
This has to be like up there in the top 3 for the best games that we were going to see at this tournament so far.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm so excited, because the winner, I think, will have a very, very good chance to actually dethrone Argentina. Damn. I truly believe that. You know, at the Euros, a lot of people saying, there's some teams that didn't deserve to be in the semifinals. Yeah. I truly think Uruguay and Colombia are playing the best football in the Americas outside of #1 Argentina.
No, I completely agree. Ozzy Carr says, late W for the drinking. Cheers, my friend. Cheers. Vanguard Golgeta says 5 years. Nah, actually, how about now? Live on stream. Let Saltero shave your head and you will book tickets on stream with proof for the Turkey trip. Good Lord. Bro. I'm not doing that for a $5 super chat. God damn. I'm going to need $500 super chat, bro. Hit 44 says, how did the U.S. lose to this Panama team?
It hurts, man. It hurts.
Low key, bro.
It hurts.
Low key. Down a man for 65 minutes. FIFA Rick says, Argentina versus Colombia final. The least corrupt cup are the Euros, Asian Cup, and African Cups. Has very questionable referees too. South America is the most physical group.
Yeah. I like this comment, by the way.
I'm trying to
I think
understand.
The least corrupt cup by far is the Euros. There's a lot of controversy refereeing-wise at this Copa America, but honestly, at the AFC Asian Cup and African Nations Cup, there's a lot of controversy too. I just don't think it gets as much publicity as the Copa America. So I agree. Like, I completely agree with that statement. And South America, I want to do something at the end of these tournaments. I want to get the average fouls per game for all major tournaments, because I want to know, is that actually a true statement, or does it just seem like it's more physical? I wonder.
There's already a stat out where CONCACAF teams got called for more fouls, I believe, than South Americans.
Really?
I think I saw like a number of fouls called after like the group stage. The top 5 were the CONCACAF teams.
Oh my God.
And then the rest were South America.
Good Lord,
something
bro.
like that.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up on the pod so people know I'm not just making that shit up. We got one more super chat from Rahul Magar. Says, love from Nepal, guys. Nepal. That's nuts,
shout
dude.
out, Rahul. Shout
I
out,
can't
man.
believe my face shouldn't be seen in Nepal, bro. I don't need to be over there, bro.
No, you do.
Well, that's crazy to me. That's so far away. I'm not even sure if I know where that is on the map. Love to Nepal, man. Love to Nepal. Thank you so much, my friend. So, guys, those are our semifinal predictions. So now, how I want to leave the show off is give me your winner. Give me your winner. Who do you have winning the tournament as of this moment, now that we know the 4 semifinalists? Tell me why you think it's Canada, and give me the reasons, folks. Give me the reasons. Is it Jacob Schaffelberg? Is it Nathan Aimason, who says, I'm just happy that football is finally getting noticed in Canada? Rodrigo says Colombia. Adrian says Colombia. Javier says Uruguay. Maria del Mar Sanin, what a name, says Colombia. Rodrigo Rivera says, Reynoso, why are you picking Colombia now? Boom Chicken says Colombia. Argentina is winning it all. Crazy how much. Yeah, it's crazy to me, though, how many shots I'm seeing for teams not named Argentina. Not that they're wrong for that, but where we've come in this tournament, bro. Because before the tournament, everyone was picking Argentina, including us, dude. Yeah, everyone.
I think form speaks volumes.
Yeah, man.
Truly. I mean, we already said it. Colombia and Uruguay are playing the better football, and Colombia have the best football on the eyes, but I just think Argentina have something that Colombia and Uruguay don't right now, and that's experience at the highest level, right? Actually getting to a World Cup final, feeling that pressure and overcoming it. Argentina can unlock that type of experience in a final.
That's what I like, though, is that now, maybe before a tournament, it might have not seemed like Argentina would have gotten a real challenge, but now they're going to have to really work for this tournament.
Yeah,
like,
that is
it
fun.
adds more merit to the trophy, I think, because Colombia and Uruguay have been playing so well. Now we'll know if they have to face off against one of those teams in the final, they'll have to earn it, bro. Yes. I think that's a really cool, narrative that's happened so far with how well these teams have been playing. Trainer AQ says, I'm biased towards Colombia. Argentina are not playing at 2022 level. I agree with that. Canada looks pretty good, but Uruguay is tough in the real final. Colombia can do it. I love seeing the Colombians. I love seeing the Colombians, the belief they have. But then there's people like Adrian B who says Colombia's ego is so high. There you go.
It is.
They're feeling themselves.
But it should be high. It should be really high.
It should be high. They haven't lost, bro.
Yeah.
They haven't lost. Anthony V says, I'm going to be there for the Argentina versus Canada match. It's about to be straight fire. I see Colombia and Uruguay fighting till the very last second. That match is actually going to be at the Bank of America Stadium. Where's that stadium at?
Bank of America?
Bank of America Stadium.
I actually don't know.
It's not telling me where. Chat, let me know. Where's the Bank of America Stadium? And don't look it up. I want to see who knows.
Oh, it's in Charlotte.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were saying that on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Damn it, that would have been fun. That would have been fun. Trainer gave us the answer. Thank you, my friend. Nick Bui says Argentina is going to win and the haters will cry rigged. It's crazy, but that's true. That's true, bro. That's true. No matter how Argentina wins it, that's always going to happen.
I just wish Argentina, just had a tougher group. That's it. And I'm not saying that's rigged. I'm just saying I wish they had a tougher group. That's it.
At the end of the day, though, outside of Canada, I mean, all the other teams top their groups as well. Uruguay top theirs, Colombia top theirs. I think the group stage is pretty straightforward for all semifinalist teams outside of Canada, because Canada's done incredible. But yeah, I mean, we're getting the test now. We're getting the answers that we have to these teams, and I'm just so excited, bro, because these games have been hitting. Maybe not that Brazil-Uruguay match, but other matches have been so fun to watch so far in the Euros and in the Copa America. So, folks, thank you so much for joining. If you're Colombian, send me one more Colombian flag and the emoji. If you're Uruguayan, give me a reason for why you think Uruguay is winning this tournament as we check out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We will be back in a couple days. We had a couple days off, my friend. A couple days off. We'll be back to cover the Euros and Copa America and react to these crazy semi-final matchups. Till next time, guys. Peace.